What? It's your boy JB, and I am here again to record. Let's get into the blogs, guys, because I've already recorded this, and now I'm having to re-record it again because the original video that I did, there's no audio. It just go boom through the entire video. Oh God! So these are the hot topics for the week of June the 14th through June the 20th, you guys. So before we go ahead and get into it, if you guys are watching this video or any other video on the channel, and you guys aren't subscribed yet, I need you guys to do me a solid favor and stop taking out on this date and having me pay for it at the end of it. You guys know the routine. You can do me that favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, turning on your post notifications, you guys, and also by sharing the video. And with that out of the way, without further ado, let's discuss what is hot and what is trending this week, shall we? For the second time. My God, today. All right, you guys. So my energy is really down because I don't have the mental capacity to even go through these stories again. I'm tired. I was ready to get my day started because I was just about to, I was just sitting down to edit this. And I was like, okay, cool. We can edit this. We can get this up and we can just go on about my day. Now I can't do that because I have to re-record this. So the first story that we're going to talk about is this story out there in Georgia with this young lady by the name of Adriana Smith, you guys. Now, if you guys are not familiar with Adriana's story, it's a very, very sad story. It's a sad story, right? So Adriana's story starts. So she's she was 30 years old, but I guess she turned 31 at some point throughout the course of this whole ordeal, right? She was 30 years old. She was a nurse, and she went to a local hospital out there in Atlanta, right? And she was, complaining of a headache. And what the hospital ended up doing was giving her some medication, right? And sending her home. So they didn't keep her overnight for observation, and they didn't do a scan of her brain, which I think that that's weird because if a person is complaining of migraines and things of that nature, because I actually have a cousin, she's deceased now, but we would have lost her a long time ago because she had a similar issue as well, where she was having migraines and they were not going away, and she went to the hospital only to find out that she had an embolism in her brain. And I also have another cousin that did pass away from an embolism in his brain. And my mom, you guys know, she passed away from an embolism as well. But suffice it to say, they sent her home and she eventually came back to the hospital. Now, she's also, at this time, she was 8 weeks pregnant, right? So when she finally went back to the hospital and they admitted her and everything, at this point, I mean, you have, again, if someone, this goes to I hate to say this, but I'm going to say it either way it goes. This kind of goes towards the mistreatment of black and brown people when we go to the hospital, right? They don't listen to us. They, push us to the side sometimes, right? And she went back to the hospital, but then this time she never left the hospital and they declared her brain dead, right? And so she's, again, like I said, she was 8 weeks, 9 weeks pregnant at the time. And with these strict abortion laws, she couldn't, with these strict abortion laws, right? You guys know here in Texas, it's a 6-week ban. And I think in Georgia, it's the heartbeat. So if they detect a heartbeat, then you're past the point of getting an abortion, right? And so with her being pregnant, in a at this point, she's in she ain't even in a vegetative state. She's brain dead. So there's no activity in her brain. And I saw this a couple of weeks ago when I was on Instagram. I left the gym one night and I thought it was just cruel because her family wanted to, they wanted to have the right to say what went on with Adriana, not the state, not anybody, but their family and not the hospital. And I know people are upset with the hospital, but the hospital is just following protocol of the stupid laws down there in Georgia, right? And I get that. And so my problem has been she was 9 weeks pregnant. And, you know, I'm all for doing what's best for mother and child. If she was 6 months pregnant, I'd be like, okay, maybe, do what you got to do to save the baby. But she was 9 weeks. So they've kept her on these machines for the last 4 months while the baby continues to grow inside of her. And this week, they just took the baby because her body is deteriorating. And I found that interesting to me that they kept her body on these machines. So and this is just my thinking, my thinking is, who's gonna take care of those hospital bills when this is all said and done, right? And then they did take her off the machines and she died, which she was already dead, but they just left a dead body lying in a bed, taking up space, growing a baby that was born at under one and was born at 1 pound, right? So the baby is currently in the NICU, which is another thing that I'm gonna talk about in just a minute, right? My problem is with this, they're all about, human life, right? But this baby was growing inside of a dead body where it was not getting the proper nutrients that if the mother was alive and able to, seek prenatal, get her prenatal care, take her prenatal vitamins and all that stuff. But whatever. Whatever. I just think that that's so cruel. And then on top of that, she already had a son that was here. I'm like, so y'all are traumatizing y'all are traumatizing him because he's probably wondering, why is his mom not coming home? And his family don't want to explain to him what's going on. Then, like I said a few minutes ago, the hospital bills. Now that she's dead, I would actually tell the state and the hospital, fuck y'all, since y'all kept her on them tubes and all that kind of stuff, you be responsible for those hospital bills. Then the baby that's, was born, I pray for the baby because if the baby survives, then I'm pretty sure that baby's gonna have so many health issues. And we already know how certain people feel about people who get government assistance, right? Government assistance, government, Medicaid, Medicare. We already know how a certain group of people feel about them already, right? Because they want you to get it out the mud, or their favorite thing is you knew you were this and da 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 when you were doing it, right? But these people, they didn't plan for, especially the grandmother of this baby. The grandmother didn't plan to raise any kids. I'm pretty sure she done raised all her kids and they had no plans in raising any other kids. So now y'all have just messed up a whole lot of people's lives because y'all want to play God with other people. To me, it's disgusting, and I hate the fact that when it comes to medical care for women, that things have become so fucking political. It's irritating as hell. It's irritating. And then this administration is not making anything any easier or any better, and we'll talk about this administration in just a few minutes. But yeah, prayers up for Adriana, prayers up for the father of her kids, prayers up for her family. I hope now that all this is said and done, especially in the case of Adriana, I hope now the family can find some kind of peace and comfort with being able to now move forward with laying her to rest and just, trying to figure out what life is like now for them without her here. Again, like I said earlier, I pray for her mom, her dad, siblings, family and friends who loved her and I pray for the baby. And I really do hope that the baby, does survive. I do hope that the baby survives. And I also hope that with the baby, it doesn't have any, adverse health problems because of it being basically incubated in a dead body. I hope and pray nothing but the best for this family going forward. And if I hear anything, if anything else comes out about this story, we'll definitely come on here and give an update on it. But like I said, once again, prayers up to Adriana and her family. And, I hope that now she can finally rest in peace, because she's been gone for 4 months, but her lifeless body has been laying in a hospital bed. And to the state of Georgia, middle finger to you, y'all need to take care of them hospital bills and leave her family the fuck alone. That's all I gotta say. Let me know what you guys think and what you guys feel about it down in the comments section below, and we'll go ahead and we'll move on to the next story, you guys, shall we? All right, you guys, so since I mentioned this dumbass administration, let's go on ahead and talk about this administration. So, Juneteenth, I posted Happy Juneteenth to everybody. I hope you guys had a great Juneteenth. I did. It was a good day. So, y'all stupid ass, take that back. Taco had something to say about Juneteenth, right? And this is why I don't understand how anybody who has the same skin color as me, look like me, voted for him, because he literally tells you guys that he's not for. I mean, the things he says and does screams. I don't like black people. I don't like gay people, lesbian, trans, Hispanics, Asians, Middle Eastern people. Poor white people. Everything that he says should tell you guys he don't fucking like y'all. So on Juneteenth, this racist bastard decides that he wants to go on Truth Social, which I don't peruse, never will peruse, but he went on Truth Social to say too many non-working holidays in America. It is costing our country billions of dollars to keep all of these businesses closed. The workers don't want it either, with an exclamation point. Soon we'll end up having a holiday for every once working day of the year. It must change if we are to, in all caps, make America great again, with an exclamation point. And then I was seeing people, like I saw this white lady on, I was watching this guy. Who was I watching? Was I watching Reese or was I watching Amazing Lucas? Either way I go, I was watching either the Amazing Lucas or Reese Waters. And one of them had this clip, it was Reese. So Reese had this clip of this white lady, and she was saying, and I remember everything she said. She said we have a black Miss America, we have a black month, we have black colleges. What do the white people have? Y'all have everything under the sun, bitch. Y'all are upset because the Black History Month, that is number one. The reason why we have Black History Month is so that we can talk about everything that black people did. So that way history doesn't get whitewashed and erased. Because look at this administration. They're trying to get rid of so many things, right? They're taking people's names off of things. They're whitewashing history. I mean, remember what DeSantis said down there in Florida about the slaves, that they got something out of slavery. What did they get out of it? What did they learn? They didn't learn a damn thing from slavery. So if we don't have these things in place, past can become prologue. So I wish I would stop with that shit. Then you say we have black colleges. You are correct. Do you know why? You know why we have black colleges? Because we couldn't go to the predominantly white colleges. So we had to create our own colleges. And then there was this guy on Twitter talking about that Taco has done more for the black community than any other president, which is a fucking lie. Then they want to bring up that HBCU thing again. He did not do anything for the HBCUs. Let me break it down and spell it out for you. President Obama did an executive order to help the HBCUs, right? That stopped in 2019. So then Congress passed a bill that went to his desk. If he didn't sign it, that definitely would have that would have rung the bells. Racist, 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 racist. So that's the only reason why he signed that bill. But he didn't send it to Congress. Congress, I forget the congressman who came up with that, because I've actually read that bill. I don't remember the congressman who came up with it, but it passed the Senate and it passed the House and it went to his desk. So he didn't send it down. Whereas with this big beautiful bill, that is literally him that drafted. That is him. Him and his people drafted that and sent that to Congress. And that's so I want y'all to know these things. Google is your best friend. Google's your best friend. So then for him to talk about the holidays, right? There are 11 federal holidays that are celebrated in the U.S. One of them you can absolutely get rid of, Columbus Day, because that man did not find a motherfucking thing. Didn't find a goddamn thing, but whatever. So the list of federal holidays in the United States go as follows: New Year's Day, MLK Day, Washington's birthday, Memorial Day, Juneteenth, Independence Day, Labor Day, Veterans Day, Thanksgiving, and Christmas Day. And like I said, you can I actually left out Columbus Day, but Columbus Day is before Thanksgiving, so I think it's between Veterans Day and Thanksgiving. But you can X out Columbus Day. You can X out Columbus Day. You can X out President's Day. I mean, at this point, because we don't really have a president, so you can X that one out. But I just find it funny to me that people still, especially these people, support him when he is. I mean, he proves his racism on a daily basis. But if that's what y'all like, y'all have fun with it. I don't really give a fuck. So, yeah, you guys. But overall, I hope that you guys had a great. I hope you guys had a great Juneteenth. But yeah, you guys, let's pause here and move on to the next story. All right, you guys. So next up, let's talk about R.Kelly, you guys. Which I read this. I'm just so frustrated that I'm having to do this stuff all over again. Like, I'm really frustrated that I'm doing this stuff all over again. But R.Kelly. So R.Kelly is in the news because he had a overdose this past week, right? Actually, I think it was last Friday, but it just came to it just really hit the news this week. So let's talk about it real quick. And then, so this comes to us from USA Today, right? So it says, lawyers for R. Kelly are alleging the singer overdosed last week on medication given to him by prison staff. It says in a June 17 filing obtained by USA Today, claims that after being placed in solitary confinement, prison staff provided him an overdose quantity of medication on June 12th compared to his normal anxiety and sleep medication dosages, leading to his hospitalization Friday, June 13th. According to the filing, Kelly was forcibly removed from Duke University Hospital in Durham, North Carolina against medical advice. It says the Bureau of Prisons declined to comment on pending litigation. And so it says the lawyers say leading up to the alleged overdose, Kelly was placed in solitary confinement on June 10th against his will. Shortly after, his team filed an emergency motion for his release from prison last week. In that motion, Kelly's team claimed 3 Bureau of Prisons officials allegedly devised a plot to unalive him by another inmate. Then, in the early morning hours of June 13th, according to the filing, Kelly woke up feeling faint and dizzy. He started to see black spots in his vision. Mr. Kelly tried to get up, but fell to the ground. The updated motion stated, he crawled to the door of the cell and lost consciousness. On-site prison medical staff could not help him, so he was transported to Duke University Hospital by ambulance. The filing continued. He was hospitalized for 2 days. Kelly's team was only able to speak to him late June 16th after a previous call was canceled without explanation, they wrote. In a June 17th statement, Bo Brentley, Kelly's lawyer, reiterated the seriousness of the team's claims. For those who responded with skepticism about whether Bureau of Prisons officers would really engage in a plot to unalive Kelly, those prison officials have now removed all doubt, he said. They want R. Kelly dead before the crimes committed against him in his case are exposed. The lawyer who has already made a plea to President Taco to pardon the singer emphasized the need for this form of justice. He continued, "It is the immediate and imminent threat that compels us to again seek the intervention of President Taco." The courts did not move as quickly as the efforts to unalive this man. President Taco may be the only person who can save the life of R. Kelly. His lawyers say the singer was denied medical treatment for blood clots. The filing also claimed that Kelly was removed from Duke University against medical advice as he was set to receive surgery on an ongoing blood clot issue. The motion stated the hospital would need to keep him for 2 weeks for surgery. Officers assigned to Kelly then contacted FCI Butner officials. Within an hour, officers with guns came into the hospital room and removed the R&B singer to return him to solitary confinement, the filing said. His life is in jeopardy right now because the Bureau of Prisons denied him necessary surgery to clear clots from his lungs, the lawyer wrote. He could die from this condition, and they're letting it happen. So that's that. And I know that they did file a motion for him, and the judge denied that motion. Now, here's what I will say. Do I want R. Kelly to pay for his crimes? Absolutely, 100%, right? Do I want the man to die? Absolutely not. And I said this in the previous video, like, I do believe his lawyer because I had an uncle that was in prison, and my uncle got a staph infection while he was in prison. And my uncle, he deteriorated while he was in prison. It even got to the point at one point where every time we visit him, they would wheel him out in a wheelchair. And my uncle, I think he was at least 6 feet tall, right? 6 feet, over 200 pounds, right? But by the end of his life, he was at least 180. He was a shell of what he used to be, right? So his condition gradually got worse and worse and worse. And my family, more specifically, my mom and her siblings, but my mom was the primary person that was right there by my uncle trying to get him out, right? And, you know, they would always, the judge, the board would always deny him being released from prison so that way he could come home and get the medical treatment that he was desperately needing, right? And it wasn't until, because actually at one point they transported him to a hospital close to my hometown, and he was contagious. He was contagious because they had him isolated in a room by himself. And when we went to go visit him, we had to put on the surgical mask, and we had to put on, you know, those gowns that they wear, right? And then they finally did release him from prison. And when, you know, they released him from prison because at that point, it wasn't anything that they could do for him. And they knew he was towards the tail end of his life, right? And so he came home. He made it almost a year after being out of prison, but because he came home, he was in a hospital for a little while. They released him from the hospital, but before before they could release him from the hospital, we had to find a nursing home that would take him, right? And so we found one that took him. They took him up until the point where, you know, they couldn't take care of him anymore, right? And they told us to put him in hospice. Put him in hospice. He lasted about a month or two in hospice, and then he passed away, right? So I do believe that I do believe what R. Kelly's attorneys are saying. I absolutely do believe what they're saying. But you guys let me know what you think and feel. Like I said, I don't want I want R. Kelly to pay for his crimes that he's committed, but I don't want him to, lose his life. That I don't want to happen with R. Kelly. But yeah, you guys, let me know what you guys think about that in the comment section below. And we'll go ahead and move on to the next story, guys. Shall we? All right, you guys, so the next story, let's talk about Bashir Gray. Now, we know him from Empire. So, as of late, anytime we talk about Bashir Gray, it is something always negative with him. Literally, before I came back on this camera to record this second time, I was on Twitter. This man was on Twitter. This man has a video of him in a fucking thong. I was like, oh my God. I really want somebody to get him some help. I really want somebody to get Bashir some help. Let me see if I can find that tweet, because I'm actually going to see if I can find it. Because it's always a caption with his tweets. He gay bait. One thing I will say is he gay baits. His thing is Yaz the Great, right? I think that's his name. Yaz the Great. Yep, Yaz the Greatest. I just pray for him. I really, truly do pray for him, because I don't want a situation with him where he is taking his own life, right? I'm not saying that that's where he is, but it's something not right with him. It's something not right with him. Because remember, his wife, he had that situation with his wife where it was a domestic abuse. Oh God. I like I said, I really pray for him. Yeah. This shit say Jbsayzwhat, and it's a video of him smacking his ass with a lace thong on. I'm just, oh my God. Then this man also, oh wow. Oh my God. I'm gonna pray for him. I'm gonna pray for him. I don't know if some of these videos, I don't know if they're him or not, or because there's a video of him with somebody's booty tooched in the air, and there's a toy involved, and the toy is going in and out of a crevice. I don't know, you guys. I really don't know if this is him. No. Oh, this is a man with this is some, oh God, this is just weird. Cause I mean, he hangs out with some very well-known, personalities on Twitter that got big followings. He ain't gone all the way from what I see, but he do a lot. I'll say that. He does a lot. He do too, oh God, he do way too much for me. He do way too much. I don't know if he ain't got no money from Empire or what. But let's read this article, you guys. So the article says, former Empire star Bashir Gray is facing assault and battery charges after being arrested in Virginia. The charges stem from an alleged incident that happened last week at a hotel, which he's been staying in a hotel for quite some time. Again, that's why I say I don't know if he ain't got no money or what, but something is not right with Bashir. It says, according to local news station, Gray is accused of assaulting Dustin Wilkins, also known as Chosen, following a heated argument at a Homewood Suites. It says, as I was explaining to him that he can't just leave without paying, adding that you have enough problems. I am trying to save your life, Wilkins said. He then charged towards me from around the car, charged into me with his shoulder and fighting me as I was recording the incident over the phone. A blunt blow into me and punching me. Wilkins also claimed that Gray's behavior was due to his struggle with mental illness. Quote, something took place in a mental health aspect. I cannot disclose what happened. I cannot disclose the details of that, explained Wilkins to the TV station. He says, all I can tell you is Bashir is a friend. He's like a brother. He is just someone who's dealing with some very interesting mental health issues. Bashir doesn't need to be in jail. He wouldn't survive in jail. He needs mental help, he continued. Here's my thing. If you know that if this is a friend, a brother to you, then why are you, I feel, benefiting from him, profiting off of him? If I know that my friend is having a mental health issue in an episode, I'm not going to use, like, it's like using your friend. But then when it flipped on you, that's when you want to get the authorities involved. Which here's the thing: nobody deserves to be assaulted, but you're using him. Let's just be real about that. You're using him, and I pray for Bashir. Like I said, I don't want anything bad to happen to him. I really, truly don't. But at the same time, like, what can be, like, he needs help. He needs help. He desperately needs help, you guys. But that's all I got for Bashir. Let's pause here and move on to the next story, guys. Shall we? All right, you guys. So these next two ain't really stories whatsoever. It's just me talking about some shit that I saw on social media. First thing is, let's talk about Angela Simmons and Yo Gotti. So Angela confirmed that she and Yo Gotti broke up. She didn't, paraphrasing, it's like she didn't want to do it, but she knew that she had to do it. She won't say what the cause of the breakup was. She was on I think she was on, who? She was on Angie Martinez's podcast, IRL, right? And so Angie asked about the relationship. Is she in her single girl era? And Angela is single. But again, like, she won't go into detail about what happened with her and Yo Gotti. Do I care about what happened with her and Yo Gotti? Not 100%. That's her business to do whatever she want to do with it and leave it at that. K. Michelle. Y'all know I love K. Michelle, right? So K. Michelle was on, what's his name? She was on Cam Newton's podcast, right? And she mentioned the Muppet, a.k.a. Janice, a.k.a. K. Michelle. And why do I keep saying, I did that in the previous video. She mentioned that Muppet, a.k.a. Janice, a.k.a. Tamar Braxton, right? I don't see that Tamar has come out and said anything, so I'm gonna need Tamar to keep it cute and keep it on mute. Like, I'm gonna need her to keep it on mute, and that's all we got, you guys. So then she, like I said, she was on Cam Newton, so she was talking about that with Cam. All right, you guys, my bad. So K. Michelle, like I said, she was on Cam's podcast, and then I love the fact that K. Michelle got this white lady together. That woman tried to play in K. Michelle's face, basically trying to say K. Michelle ain't country, she don't come from that world, and all that kind of stuff. And I love how eloquently K got her together, basically let her know, girl, I am country, I'm from Memphis. And I was like, ma'am, do you not hear that country twang to her voice? Like, I know my country brother and sisters when I hear them. Like, I know my country brothers and sisters when I hear them. Because you can just listen to the way we talk. Because there'll be some things that we can say and do, and you hear it. Like, I know I know y'all probably don't catch it sometimes with me, but when I be listening to my videos and I be editing, I'm like, oh, damn, JB. Like, you can hear that country accent that you got. My country accent ain't as thick as K. Michelle's. And then she told her, like, I got a yodeling scholarship to go to college. But I love that she eloquently gathered up that white lady. And then the last story, you guys, was that the last story? Yeah, that was the last story. It was K. Michelle. That was it. Yeah, that was it, you guys. So I'm gonna get off of here, you guys. My mood is getting better, but I'm still pissed that I had to pre-record this video. Now I know that the audio might not be the best with this video, but it is what it is, and we're gonna roll with the punches, right? But that is it for this week. Let me know what you guys thought about all the topics that I've discussed in this video, and I will see you guys in the next video, you guys. So y'all know we do this same time, same place, every week. This week was off. One, because my uncle passed away, and so I've been still dealing with that. And then also today, I was going to edit this video. Like, I was literally sitting down to edit the video, and this is Saturday. This is Saturday that I'm recording it now. So I sat down to edit the video, and was nothing there, and I'm so pissed. But next week we'll be back on track, you guys. So for the rest of the weekend, the Never Ever Mets. I know I said that I was gonna go live. I decided that I don't want to go live for that after seeing Clay on the Miss Pat Sells It show. Well, I didn't see it, but I saw a clip of him. I don't want to do no live. We're going to do a pre-recorded video, so you guys will either see that sometime today or tomorrow on Sunday. I'm going to do a pre-recorded video of Beyond the Gates for my channel, and either expect that today or Sunday. Really, B and I will be going live tomorrow at 11 a.m. my time, and it'll be noon her time, and it'll be on her channel, you guys. And we'll be discussing last week and this week as well. So I'll see you guys for all that stuff. Be sure to like the video, you guys. Subscribe to the channel. Turn on your post notifications. Share the video. And until the next time, stay safe, you guys. Take care of yourselves. Wash your hands. Be blessed. And I'll see you guys in the next video.